Hey there Wargamers, and welcome to another POV tutorial video. In this video, we're going to go over batch painting. Let's get started. Okay, so to start these guys off, I sprayed like a light gray on them. I don't think I hit them too well. I did this over a year ago, so I wanted to go ahead and freshen that up. So I'm going to go ahead and take some brush on primer and give these guys like a light coat of this over the entire models. And since they've already got a bit of paint on them, I'm actually going to thin this more than I normally would with the brush. And really what I'm looking to do here is just add a defined layer of paint on the entirety of the models and just kind of cover the pieces that the airbrush missed. And this doesn't have to be perfect, we're just trying to get some paint on the model. We'll sort out the color with the next step, so just slap paint on the model and get one messy coat on. Okay, and for the next step, we're going to take an off-white and a large dry brush here. And I think I chose the Brain Matter Beige here for our color. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this and just dry brush this color pretty much over the entirety of the models, just leaving the recessed areas like underneath the feet, in between the legs, in between the arms, those kind of areas still with a darker shade. And when you're dry brushing, you just want to work the paint into a paper towel until you just kind of have a faint color that you're left with, almost like that there. And so we're basically just adding a zenithal highlight with a dry brush here. Anywhere that you think the light would catch, go ahead and add a little bit of this paint. And once you feel that you've gotten a good highlight on your model, go ahead and switch over to the next one and keep carrying on. Just try to keep the color consistency between all the models. Alright, and this is going to be the largest step of our project here. We're going to switch over to Pallid Bone Speed Paint, and you're going to want to cover the entirety of the model with this, except for the guns and the binoculars on the Sergeant. And for this step, we're going to switch over to the Monster Brush. This is just going to help us cover more ground on the model quickly. Now this color does dry pretty light, but I'm going to thin this down just a tad and lay it on pretty thick. And adding a little bit of water to your speed paint just makes it flow a little bit better, gives you a little bit better coverage and consistency. With this Pallid Bone color, I've had very good results personally. The only thing you have to watch with it is just pooling in any unnecessary areas, like those little circle divots in the legs for the joints, I guess. Those are what you want to watch out for. And as you can see, I'm just kind of working my way up the model and grabbing more speed paint whenever I feel like my brush is getting a little bit low. And this is pretty much the entire step for the rest of the models. You'll want to cover them all in this color. The only thing to look out for, like I said before, is the pooling. And you really want to make sure that you get one clean coat over it the first time. You don't really want to miss any spots. Alright, and with this next step, we're going to switch over to the normal acrylic line. We're going to switch to skeleton bone. And what we're going to do with this is very similar to the zenithal step that we did. We're going to switch back to a dry brush here. And we're going to use that and just kind of catch the highlighted and raised areas of the models. And here we're using the exact same technique with the dry brush. And when I'm doing this step, I like to work from the top and work my way down. I feel like you can kind of see your gradient a little bit better when you work this way. And as you can see, compared to the other droids, we've got a nice highlight building up already. You just want to keep that consistent across all of the other models. You want to keep them just about the same kind of color. And as you can see, using this technique, you can build up a kind of subtle gradient very quickly. And now as an optional step, you can totally add a wash before you do this step, just to add a little bit more definition if that's what you'd like to do. I just kind of decided it wasn't really necessary for mine. Alright, and we're going to switch over to matte black here, and we're going to use this to cover all of the blasters and the binoculars on the Sergeant. Try to be as careful as you can around the beige parts that we've already painted. But if you do happen to get a little bit on the hands or the fingers, it's okay. You can just go ahead and take a little bit of the brush on primer and use that to cover it up. And then once that's dry, go ahead and take the palette bone speed paint. And then if you need to, you can take the skeleton bone and highlight it again as well. And go ahead and repeat this step for all of the droids. And once that's done, they are ready for a layer of matte varnish, and we'll move on to the bases in the next video. And this spot right here, behind the back of the blaster, can be one of the trickiest spots to paint without messing up. So just take your time, be careful, and if you mess up, don't worry, it can always be fixed. And once that's done, if you'd like to, you can add a little demonic yellow onto the Sergeant here. He's just got a couple markings, like a circle on the chest and the little half oval on his head covered in. So we'll just go ahead and add those details. This is totally optional, completely up to you if you want to add this flavor into your droid army. And again, just try to make your best circle here in the center. It doesn't have to be perfect, you can just kind of freehand it. And if you get too much of the yellow into like the divots or recesses of his chest, you can just go ahead and take some of this Paladone speed paint and just go ahead and run that through the recesses, and that'll add your shadows back. And the last little detail here is the little half oval on his forehead here. And once that's done, your first squad of droids is finished. Stick around for part 2, where we will go over how to batch paint the bases. I hope this video helped you guys get through some simpler projects quickly, and thanks for watching.